Diane Cooper is going to join us now for the Community Service Award and also Letter to a Caregiver. Diane.
As you all know, the history of COME is that basically it started out because I was a family caregiver for my dad and realized that there was not enough, she can't say not enough, the resources that were available was not accessible to family caregivers in need. And that's, as Shakira said, is our mission and our goal. And I always want to recognize and thank AARP because as I was going around with that dream, with that vision, and telling people what God had given me, it was Josephine Collins that I went to, and she saw the vision. And she allowed us to actually recognize our first family caregiver, Uno family caregiver, at her meeting in Co-op City in the community center. And from that point on, God just took it forward. So I just want to thank my AARP family for seeing the vision. We just want to recognize her for her gift, for her purpose, for her seeing a need and taking that need and being part of a solution and being there for family caregivers. So we just want to bring her up and thank her with our Changing Life Community Service Award. And the award says, COME Inc. presents Sheila Warner, founder and president of Share the Caring Inc. with the Community Service Award, Changing Life. And this is our 7th year annual award luncheon, and it's November the 9th. President founder Diane Cooper. We thank you. And we are honored to recognize you. She said she was honored, but I was honored to recognize you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you to the Caregivers Outreach Ministry Empowerment. Thank you also to Greg Johnson, who nominated me for this award with Emblem Health. I really appreciate it because we've done so much work together. But I am absolutely thrilled and so honored to be in the company of this room today. I truly mean that. You are the people that we try to reach. You are the people who are caring for your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors. And you're very hard to reach because you're always caregiving. So I could never get you in a room together to hear about what Share the Care is all about. But first, just let me mention that I never planned to do this work ever. In fact, there were two careers that I never had any interest in because my mother was a nurse and my dad was a teacher. And the last thing I wanted to do was either one of those. So I find it very ironic that after a bunch of life experiences, I find myself teaching people about caregiving. If my parents were here, and they probably are, hey, Mom and Pop, you never would have guessed. I came to this work through 3 caregiving experiences, primary caregiving experiences. First, I took care of my mom on my own. I mean, solitary caregiver, long distance. And I know all of you in this room understand what that is like. What it's like to be depressed or isolated or just your whole life becomes caregiving. And I also, at the same time, was helping my friend, as Diane mentioned, who had cancer. She was a divorced mom with 2 kids. And after her cancer advanced, she couldn't handle it alone anymore with just some support from me. So a meeting was called, and 12 of her friends who didn't know each other got together and committed that night to helping her. And we did so for the next 3.5 years until she passed away. And we figured out how to do it so no one person had too much to do, so that everybody could feel comfortable giving what they could give and the time they could give. And after our friend died, we were asked to help other groups start. And in teaching them, we realized, wow, this needs to be put on paper so that other people don't have to reinvent the wheel. And it was particularly strong in me because I had been a solitary caregiver. And I could accomplish so much more being part of a group. So we wrote Share the Care, how to organize a group to care for someone who is seriously ill. It takes all those offers of, gee, what can I do to help? How many times have you all heard that one? And nothing happens. This is a way for your friends and neighbors to help but not be overwhelmed themselves. And I have lots of material over there. I offer it to you to take with you. I didn't start doing this full time until my co-author and her dad were diagnosed with brain tumors in 2002, and she needed a Share the Care group. And they both passed away 10 months later, within 12 hours of each other. And it was almost like an alarm going off from God saying, hey, Sheila, how much is it going to take for you to get moving here? And that's why we created Share the Caregiving, to bring the word to you and your loved ones so everybody can help and be part of the solution. Because it's all about love. And my gosh, this room is filled with love. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Segal to please come up and accept our community service award. Presents Dr. Samal Segar, Medical Director of Veteran Health House Calls, and S. Associate, PC, with our Community Service Award, Changing Life. And again, the 7th Annual Award Luncheon, 2013, Diane Cooper.
Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you again for such kind words. I accept the award on behalf of my team, which is sitting at table 19, without which we cannot do what we do every day. Thank you so much, Freddie. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Lori. And Lori, Blanca, and Liz, and Ellie. And this is only a small part of our team. I just want to introduce why we started doing house call. Going to the doctor is, everybody does that. Getting preventative care, everybody does that. But 8 years ago, our practice, which is located on the Grand Concourse, has a lot of elderly geriatric patients. And we realized that we hadn't seen some of them for many months. So when we started checking on them, what happened, they either had gone to nursing home, or out of town, or unfortunately passed away at their home, struggling, and really moved our practice. And we started doing house calls. Everybody thought I was crazy. This is 2005. They said, house call in the South Bronx? Are you kidding? You want to go to the projects? Are you going to those tall buildings? We read about the newspaper, and this is back in early 2000. And we said, we just do it. There's a need. We had 80 patients. Over 6 months we started, they became 40. Again, people are not around sometime, but we continued. And we found so much love, so much loving in patients' home. And today, even when I do house calls, and I do it every week, it is such a pleasure to go to people's home and get a view, a window into not only the patient's life, it's the caregiver's life. To see how does a family function. How can we as a medical profession help the family? Giving medicine is the easy part, but giving the care is the most difficult part. And I thank all of you here. There's so much inspiration, so much love in this room, and I want to thank the organization COME in helping everybody to get together and come, instead of struggling, start sharing. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I stand here today as a former caregiver. I took care of my father, George, for over 10 years. He made his transition a year ago in September. And so today I stand before you just to give you a reflections on my journey as I cared for my father during that time. I am honored to stand before you this afternoon, caregivers, to salute you for your selfless acts of love and kindness shown to your friends or family members who you care deeply for. You are truly amazing. It takes a special person to willingly sacrifice him or herself for another person. As in the words of Jesus himself, when he said, "There is no greater love than this, to lay down one's life for a friend." This is what you willingly do on a daily basis. I am in awe of you. I know that being a caregiver isn't easy. It's not a paid position, but it is a labor of love. You are on call physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually 24 hours a day for 365 days a year. Your loved ones' needs are ever before you, and you meticulously try to meet every one of them. As a former caregiver, I know that there are moments when caring for your loved one becomes overwhelming as a result of being coupled with all of your other responsibilities as well as taking care of him or her. You may have said to yourself, like I did, "I can't do this." Or you may have other relatives who are able to help, but maybe they might refuse to help, or maybe they can't help. And during a moment of frustration, you may have asked yourself a question, why me? And what about them? Or maybe when everyone seems to be enjoying life and having a good time, but you're at home taking care of your loved one, and then you start to ponder within yourself, is this how it's going to always be? Well, I just came by, caregivers, to encourage you, because while I was on this journey of love, I didn't know it at the time, but now I realize it, that you have been called into service. Just like God called Jeremiah, he called you too. God told Jeremiah, "Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to a nation." You are God's ambassador of love on earth. You have been chosen to demonstrate God's love to your loved ones by your words and deeds. You have been divinely chosen and selected for this task. There's something very special God has placed inside of you that is really needed to give to your loved one. No one else is qualified for the assignment but you. And I just want to tell you that you do it well. You are exactly what your loved one needs. It's you, and it's only you. So this afternoon, we want to take time out to salute and applaud you. The fruit of the Spirit is at work in you. We celebrate you today for your love you have shown your loved one. We celebrate you today for the joy you feel like taking care of them. We celebrate you for the peace of mind you allow your loved ones to have, because they know that you are on the job and that you will get it done. We celebrate you for your patience you exhibit when your loved one is not having a good day. We celebrate you for your goodness. You don't expect nothing in return. We celebrate you today for your faithfulness to your loved one. He or she knows that they can depend on you no matter what. We celebrate you today for your gentleness you have when you care for your loved one, when they may need to have their mouth wiped, or they may need to have gentle words spoken to their ear to calm them down. We celebrate you today for your self-control during times when your loved one may say or do things that might hurt your feelings. And we thank you for having self-control and not to say anything that may be on your mind. Caregivers, what you do matters. Your loved one is better because you are looking out and caring for them. You are giving them peace of mind. You are helping them to endure this journey that they have to travel. They feel it. They feel your love. They feel your presence. They feel your concern. And they know it, and it is what gets them through the day. So on behalf of your loved ones, we would just want to say thank you. Caregivers, you rock. And remember, today is your day. Today is the day for you to relax. Today is the day for you to enjoy yourselves. Today is the day for you just to be and exist. And so while you are on this journey, I just want you to remember the 4 things that kept me going. And I know that everyone here today has it. Remember your faith, because that is what gets you through the difficult times. Remember your family. They're the ones that give you support. Remember your friends. Make sure you have friends that you can talk to when the burden gets so heavy and overwhelming that you don't know what to do. And most importantly, make sure you have some fun. Let your hair down, laugh a little bit, play a little bit, because you have the next day you have work to do. So God bless you, and keep on doing the work that you do.